Locho sampo pa gyo tra she pa Uche tempe tinle yarngoda Pelge drolor tampe ze prache Pande lame shabla solwade Omo a guru vajradar Suma timonisha sane kar Uta vardanya shri bhadra varsa manya sarva siddhi hum hum. Om guru vaj Nishri bhadra varsa manya sarva siddhi hum hum. Om guru vajradar suma timonisha sarne kar Uta vardanya shri bhadra varsa manya sarva siddhi hum. Om guru vajradar varsa manya sarva siddhi hum. Om guru vajradar suma timonisha Uta vardanya shri bhadra varsa manya sarva siddhi hum hum. Om guru vajradar suma timonisha sane kar Nishri bhadra varsa manya sarva siddhi hum hum. Om guru vajradar suma timonisha sane kar Uta vardanya shri bhadra varsa manya sarva siddhi hum. Pakyukye kodandagi lo pakyukye Sundandagi Pakyukye Tudandagi Teyerme Chiktu Jingyalo Pakyukye Kudam Tagilu Pakyukye Sunda Dagingan Pakyukye Tudam Dagi Teyerme Chiktum Ingelo Makyukye Kudam Dagilu Makyukye Sunda Dagingan Makyukye Tudam Dagi Teyerme Chik Jingi Lo Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakyamuni Svoham Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakyamuni Svoha Om Muni Muni Sangye Chedan Soge Chonamla Chanchu Pardu Dani Kapsu Chi Dagi Jinso Gibe Sonamge Drola Pinchre Sangye Druparasho Sangye Chedan Soge Chonamla Chanchu Pardu Dani Kapsu Chi Dagi Jinso Gibe Sonamge Drola Pinchre Sangye Druparasho Sangye Chodan Tsogi Chonamla Chanchu Pardo Danike Dagi Jinso Gibe Sonamgi Drola Pinchre Sangye Druparasho. In the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, I take refuge until enlightenment. Through the practice of generosity and the other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. So, yesterday, we started the first of the 7 points mind training. And the first point, as it says, first, train in the preliminaries. And when we say first to train in the preliminaries, it does not refer to the preliminary practices, taking refuge, generating the bodhicitta, purifying the place, and so on. Here it refers to some states of consciousness that we need to generate before being ready to generate relative and absolute bodhicitta. This is what we are talking about. Okay? So before generating true love and compassion and wisdom, there are some states of mind that we need to generate before, which are generating, making, like a short is recognizing the preciousness of this life, the awareness of impermanence, the certainty of death, the general and specific sufferings of samsara, the awareness of the law of karma, and taking refuge. This is what the 5 preliminaries that we need to generate. And the first one, which we saw yesterday, is to recognize the preciousness of this life. It's to wake up in the morning and say, wow, how good, how wonderful are these conditions that I have. Because truly speaking, we do have the most precious conditions that we could ever find. I don't know how many times in our previous life we had such good conditions as we have now. And if we do not take the right care, I don't know how many times we will still get them, So the fact is, in this very right moment, we have the most precious conditions. We have materially the minimum that we need. We don't need to worry so much about having food, but about having a place to live, about having the minimum material things that we need. We have a relatively healthy body. I mean relatively healthy because nobody has a perfect healthy. According to Tibetan medicine, in order to get a perfect healthy body, the person must be able to have completely eliminated ignorance, attraction, and aversion. So, not yet, maybe after some time, okay? But the fact is that, so we have a relatively healthy body, okay? Which means we are not constantly in pain and so on. We have the possibility to follow a spiritual path. We are not slaves of money and power and so on. We do not live in the middle of war, So if we start truly to look all the positive conditions that we have, it's incredible everything that we do have. But we are very strange, And even though if we ask ourselves, are you fortunate or not? We will say, yes. And if we start checking and saying, okay, you have this and you have that, and are you fortunate? We may say, yes, I am fortunate. But then after what happened, because there is a little stupid problem, we get overwhelmed by it. Like, I don't understand, There we are with things that are not obvious. We cannot take them for granted because most of the people in this planet don't have these conditions. And then what? There we are worried because the pimple arrived, because of that person said this and the other one said that, and because of this here and that there, and we get completely busy and completely overwhelmed by some little stupid things. It's like a sort of a big lack of respect for the fortunate conditions we have sometimes, But our mind is like this. I don't know exactly why, but for instance, let's say we go to a restaurant, okay? And we have been to that restaurant like more than 50 times, and every time we go to the restaurant, it's nice food, good service, people are kind to us, the price is good. We really like going to that restaurant. We really enjoy it. So everything is very good, everything is very nice. Then what happened? One day we go again to that restaurant, then the food is awful, the service is not good, The people serving in restaurants, they're also human beings. No, there is also one day that maybe they're upset or something. It can happen, no? So what happened is that day suddenly it was not as I expected. Or maybe the service and the food was very similar of the previous day, but I am very sensitive that day. So for me it looks terrible. Well, who knows, The fact is that I have the perception that that's a terrible food that day and the service is horrible and it looks expensive, whatever reason, okay? Now it became, is it still a good restaurant? Will I go back the next day? Not really. 50 times wonderful, one time not good, not good. It's like we have all the best conditions in our life, everything is really good. Then because of one thing that is not good, and we have more than one thing that is not good, I have no doubt of that. What happened? I cannot stay my whole life of this. This is too much for me. And like this, we focus on that thing that is negative, and that overwhelms the whole rest. It's like from a little problem, we make a big shadow that goes on top of everything. This is because we do not know how to recognize the preciousness of what we have. Our mind, it's based on comparison. So if I ask you, this singing ball here, is it big or is it small? We would say big, maybe, because we are used to see smaller ones, right? But it's actually only a matter of comparison, okay? If we ask anything, is this big or is it small? Is it expensive or is it cheap? Whatever, we can make hundreds of examples. So how do I know if this is big or if it's small? Based on comparison. But our tendency is that we take one more. I say, no, this is small because the one on Lama Ganshin's throne is bigger. So this is a small singing bowl. Then someone said, no, you're wrong. This is a big singing bowl because the one I have at home is very small. So what happened is that normally we compare to one other object, and from that we make it as that's the ultimate truth of it. Okay? The same thing we do with our own life when we say if we are fortunate or if we are not fortunate. Normally we can compare ourselves to others and we say, okay, look at others. Which is the correct way of comparison? We take all the singing bowls that we know and we can find, and then we put together and then we check, is it big or is it small? Okay? Then we have a better way of comparison. Similar to that, if we take in our life and we say, yes, do we have problems? Sure, I am the first one. I don't know for all of you, but I suppose everybody have problems. And if we take, okay, we have our difficulties, we have our problems, but if we start comparing to the others, okay, if we start comparing everywhere to all the people we know, directly or indirectly, and we say, okay, are we fortunate? Yeah. Why? Because the conditions that we have, very few people in this planet do have these conditions. It's not something obvious that we can take for granted, truly speaking. It's not obvious to have food to eat. It's not obvious to have a healthy body. It's not obvious to have a spiritual path to follow. It's not obvious not to be slave of money and power and of one's own livelihood. It's not obvious at all. Because most of the people are not in these conditions, And why are they so precious? Because the only thing that can assure us to develop a deeper and long-lasting state of happiness and well-being and peace is to develop our inner qualities and to eliminate our own defilements, is to develop more love and compassion and satisfaction, to accumulate merit, to purify our negativities. And this is only possible through the Dharma. There is nothing else that can give us that. And we have the opportunity to do it. We have the conditions to do it. And who else have these conditions? So very few people. So we are extremely fortunate. As Papunka Rinpoche says in this text, which is called Lamginyowa Lagle Marjang, the raw experience of the path, like the spoon that takes the essence from the heart of the path, something like the title. We had translated this text in English also. And in this text, Papunka Rinpoche starts the text, the very beginning, saying, how fortunate I am that I woke up this morning and I haven't died this last night. That I haven't died up to now, that I have a healthy body, that I have good conditions, and that I can practice the Mahayana Dharma. How fortunate I am that I can practice the Dharma. I will take the essence out of this life. Until I don't die, until I die, I will make everything I can to make this life meaningful. As a minimum, I will take care of the day of today. I will not let the day of today go like in a useless way. So, our tendency is that we value things once we lose them. There are some things that, okay, we have them, we lose them, then we value them, then we can get them again. Then, okay. But there are things that once we lose them, we cannot get them again easily. It's extremely difficult to get them again. And then, to value them once we lose them, it's too late. And these conditions we have, most probably we never had such conditions in the past. And very difficultly, if we do not take good care of them, we will get them again in the future. So, it's time to truly take good care of it. The first thing is to develop this feeling of, wow, how fortunate I am. I don't know what I did, why for me, but here I am. So I need to make good use of it. That's the first step that we need to develop, deep within ourselves. Okay? So for that, we need to cultivate gratitude every day. So by that, slowly, we generate that mind more and more again and again. Okay? In the moment that we recognize how precious these conditions that we have are, comes another step, which yesterday we already went through it, but it's so important, so I'm putting emphasis again today. And as Buddha said, everything that starts, sooner or later, ends. Whenever there is a gathering, sooner or later there is a separation. The end of meeting is separation. The end of accumulation is dispersion. The end of birth is death. Okay. So everything that begins, sooner or later, ends. Everything that accumulates, sooner or later, dissolves. Okay? Whenever there is a meeting, sooner or later there is a division, a separation. So, when does, for example, according to birth and death, when does the process of separation starts? On the very second instant after meeting. So, in the second instant after conception, when we are born, we are already 9 months nearer to death than when we were truly born. Every day that passes, we get more and more near to the end of this life. I don't know how long each one of us are going to live in this body. But the fact is that every instant that passes, every day that passes, we get more and more near to death. That's a fact. Right? So, what happens with that is the fact that normally we are not aware of this, and we live our lives just as if, okay, death will never happen. Then when we talk about death, when we see someone that dies, and everything we see is like if something has really gone wrong. When is the most natural thing? When we meet someone that we like, then we get upset that we need to get separated from that person. When there is a situation that we like and it starts, we get upset that the situation ends. When there is something that we like that gets accumulated, we get upset because it gets separated, dispersed at a certain point. But that's nature. That's how things are. You tell me, is there a possibility to meet someone and never need to be separated from that person? No. So the problem is not to separate. The problem is not to enjoy when we are together. That's the problem. For me, it's like the example of people going to vacation. I've seen this few times. Let's say the person has a long-awaited vacation and then has 5 days of vacation. First day, too much anxiety for the vacation and still a little bit connected to the work. Second day starts to relax. Oh, good, nice, enjoy. Third day, enjoy the vacation. It's nice, everything wonderful, so good, and so on. Fourth day, tomorrow is the last day. So instead of enjoying the vacation, goes to the places, goes to the beach or the mountain, wherever it goes to do, but the mind is already, the day after tomorrow I need to go back to office and I don't want because of this, and then I need to do this, and then I need to do that, and then will be this, and then will be that, and then it's not fair that I have only so few days of vacation. Then when comes the 5th day of vacation, then it's tragedy. Then it's there, then start complaining and fighting and discussing, and because of this and that, then cannot enjoy anything anymore. The person can even, I saw this already happen, the person can become upset and can have a bad discussion, can fight with someone because the other person is enjoying. How can you be enjoying when tomorrow we need to go, It's like, sorry, So what happened is that the problem is not that the vacation, because when you're not able to really to enjoy every moment and to accept that it's its own nature, that it starts and it ends, you make the vacation of 5 days 3. It's like, the important thing is that we must enjoy as long as we have, and we must rejoice when it ends. The problem is not that we are going to die. The problem is that we do not use well enough the life as it is when we have it. The problem is, it's not a matter only of this life. Are all the situations that we have, all the conditions, when we have things, we take them for granted. But everything is going to end, Here we are these days with the presence of our most beloved Guru. That's not forever. We have a good health. That's not forever. In the moment that we have good health, sooner or later, we're going to get sick or not. And it's strange, Sometimes people said, you get sick. It's, but yesterday I was healthy. Sure. First you're healthy, suddenly you get sick, no? Slowly. Or when you come and a person said, today I'm sick. But yesterday I was healthy. And then the doctor asks, but have you been eating in this way or doing this and that? And then the person said, yes. This is harmful to you, but I was healthy yesterday. Sure, you start doing what is unhealthy, then at a certain point, the sickness manifests, no? We are impermanent. So once we are healthy, that's the moment in which we need to take care of our health. That's the moment in which we need to enjoy our good health, because it's not going to last forever in this life. We're in a moment where we have no worries, where everything is fine. Let's enjoy it in the most as possible, because that's going to end. There will come a moment where there are going to be worries and this and that. Things are constantly changing. Now we have the most wonderful conditions, that we have relaxed time together with our gurus, that we can practice, that we can listen, that we can learn, that we can meditate, that we can do so many things. So we need to enjoy in the moment that we have these conditions, because we have no clue how long they're going to last. No, like before we used to go with Rinpoche every year to Tibet, it looked like it would be forever. Finish. So there are many, many conditions that we can talk about like this. So the point is that it's not a problem when things end. It's a problem when we are not able to use them well enough when we have it. Okay? Like yesterday I was giving one example that Geshe Yeshe, one of Rinpoche's guru and also my guru, he gave this in a teaching when explaining the Bodhisattva Charyavatara. He was talking about the certainty of death, the uncertainty of the moment of death, and the preciousness of this life, what we are talking now. So he did the following example. Let's say that someone comes to you and lends you a machine to print money. Okay? Officially, legally. Okay? It's an official legal machine that you can print your own money. Okay, so you get this machine that you can print your own money, and then what happened? But there is one condition, which is the person that gives us the machine says, look, in the moment that I need the machine back, you must give it to me right away. Here you are, I give you the machine, I lend you the machine, it's not yours, I'm lending it to you, but in the moment I need, right away. And I don't know if I would need it in 5 minutes or in 5 years. Huh? So when we get this machine to print money, what do we do with the machine? We put it in the cellar. Then we keep it there. No, now I cannot print money because I need to clean the house, because I need to watch some TV, because I need to talk to this friend, because I need to do this, because I need to do that, and this, and then and now we get always busy with hundreds of things. What do we do with the machine? We put it in the living room, wherever it may be, in our sleeping room, and then we work on it day and night. We should get some sleep from time to time, because otherwise we cannot use it well enough after. But we use it the more that we can. Every moment there we are, because we don't know how long we're going to be able to use it. Okay? And how is the nature of money and desire? The more I have, the more I want. So I'm going to use it 24 hours, the machine, okay? So actually, the life that we have with the conditions that we have, it's much more precious than a machine that can print money. Because the machine that prints money can only give us material wealth. Using these conditions that we have can give us, by practicing correctly the Dharma, can give us the basis to develop peace and joy and satisfaction, and can assure us to have a good rebirth in our next life also, which nothing else can assure us. And the life that we have, it's not ours, has been lended to us. The day the Lord of Death comes and says, oh, you, give me back, finish your time. Oh, no, sorry, I haven't finished yet. Nothing to say, finish, come here. And who are we to know truly how long we still have? We have no idea. So this life that we have, it's not ours. It has been lended to us. Why is not ours? Because we have no full control of how long it's going to last. So we just need to make the best use as we can when we have it. Especially because the conditions start and the conditions end. The situations in our life, they start and they end. They begin and they end. The same way as we are born and we die. but we continue. We meet people and we get separated from people. We start situations and we end situations. We gather wealth and we lose wealth, and so on. But we continue. There is something deep within us that continues from day to day, from month to month, from year to year, from life to life. Experience after experience, situation after situation, meeting after meeting, we continue. So we need to take care of what continues instead of being just completely focused on what ends. It's like Lama Ganchen, he told me once, he said, what would you say about a person that goes to a hotel and then starts painting the room and changing the furniture and doing everything to make the hotel room as beautiful as possible, when the person have no truly idea how long he's going to stay in the hotel? You're a little stupid, right? Come on. Just relax as you are in the hotel instead of just changing everything and trying to make the best, you know. Why you are in the hotel? To rest and to use the room. So as long as the room has the minimum conditions, just enjoy it, no? Rinpoche says that this body of this life is just like a hotel room. Now it's here. Sooner or later we are going to leave this hotel room. Then we have a travel. We need to travel from between one room and the other, one hotel and the other, which is the bardo. We have a small traveling. It can be longer or short. And then we go to another hotel. But we also have no idea what our hotel will be the next one. If we would have the swimming pool like this one, if it's like a 5-star or 1-star hotel, if it will be warm or cold, with nice smell or bad smell, we have no idea what hotel we're going to get. So the important thing is, now that we have a really good hotel room, we need to use it in the best way as we can to cultivate the conditions that assure us that once we can get a good hotel, next one. And second, that can assure us to develop ourselves in the best way as possible through these conditions that we have. This is fundamentally important. So, in other words, here we are with wonderful opportunities, and yes, we are going to die. And yes, we have no idea when. And the only thing that matters in the end of the day is what we have become, not what we have done, you know. I can have big titles, I cannot take them with me. I can be very famous, I cannot take that fame with me. I can have a lot of power, I cannot take that with me. The only thing that I can truly take with me are the conditions that I develop within myself, are the love and the compassion and the wisdom that I develop. That's the only thing that I can truly take with me, nothing else. So this is what we need to take care. This is what we need to cultivate, to use this life as a tool and not as an end by itself. You know? But I'm sorry to say that very often, you know, we get busy with the little things of life. And we forget that life will end, but we continue. This is one of the most important things that we need to understand. Because sincerely speaking, if we do not get through this point clearly, forget about bodhicitta, even renunciation, or correct view of reality. Because, how to say, we become what we do. It's like where we put our energy, that's what we cultivate. Okay? So, if I put my energy in trying to make this life perfect, if I put my energy into not getting away from the object of attraction and be getting the object of desire and avoiding the objects of aversion and just busy with these little things all the time, what happened with that? That's where my life is going to end. That's where I put my energy, you know. Because our life is short. So, truly speaking, there is no other choice than really practicing the Dharma in every circumstance that we have. Because the only thing that can truly help us in the moment of our own death is the practice of Dharma that we have done. The rest is gone, we cannot take it with us. It's like, I will just read one verse here. Let me see if I find it. That Trijang Rinpoche says that he liked it, it helped him very much. From Geshe Chekawa himself, okay? He says, Yuldan nyenshe rabpangte zincha mebe getsache shenyen shukpe sacho shu tösam gomsum getsache tanishiyam mikyoto. I have abandoned the attachment to places and people. Without such attachment, I have accumulated the roots of virtue. I have remained stable in the place where my gurus were, and I have listened, comprehended, and meditation, and I have placed the roots of listening, comprehension, and meditation. Now, if I die, I have no regrets. Haru nyetu machu shin, rulpu kökyang, mencha sung, sudan drokyang yi machung, chakpa madrup nor masa, tanishiyam ikyoto. I have not made offerings in order to make the gods happy. I have just wear very simple clothes just to protect my body. With whoever I go, I do not get upset with them and get involved with it. I have not accumulated fame and I have not accumulated wealth. Now, if I die, I have no regrets. Michel hachu risidang, yönda lashin chöpadang, peme nyinkur kumpangte, changsun chembo namdarche, tanishiyam mikyoto. It's a bit difficult to translate, but I have not been like Michel hachu risidang, yönda lashin chöpadang. I have not been taking care of cultivating relationship with people and with deities like local gods and that is so on. I have not been like passing my life trying to, to be nice to sponsors and to get money and to just dedicate my life to try to get good relation with people and try to get money and try to get the local deities to be favors to me and so on. I don't even pass my life trying to get favors from others. I have abandoned completely all attachment towards fame, recognition, and material wealth. I have just lived like the life of the great yogis. Now, if I die, I have no regrets. Cheshin chengda norchenla tsokso nyingur ma cheshin. I have not then I have not played respect and kind words to others in order to gain wealth and fame. Pumke mache tsong mache, bunke mache tsun mache, karle mache shi masung. I have not done. There was one word here, and I don't know how to translate that. I have not done business, I have not built a house, I have not created stable roots. Now, if I die, I have no regrets. So basically, what Geshe Chekawa is saying, and then here Trijang Rinpoche, he says, by myself, I have found great benefit for myself by reading these words. So what here is saying is that, I have dedicated my life to use life as a means to develop my own qualities instead of being busy with just the things that end. The important is how I use the conditions, is not to try to keep them forever, because whatever is impermanent, we need to use it in the best way as it is present, because sooner or later, it's going to go. So what's the point of building a big, beautiful house if we do not use it? What's the point of having an important position if it has no function? What's the point of having power and not using for something positive, and so on? So, wealth, power, houses, relationships, all of these are nothing more, nothing less than means to help to create conditions to develop our qualities and to act to accumulate merits and to help others and to generate positive energy and all the rest. What's the point? I build a beautiful house and then I die. I acquire a lot of knowledge that I never put in practice and then I die. I create relation with many people and then I die. But when I die, I don't have all of that, but I need to continue. And I have not taken care of what continues. I don't know if it's clear. So this is the first point. We must give priority to what continues. And the rest are tools for that. And this is where the Lojong teachings come in. Because if we need to wait to have the perfect conditions to develop our qualities, to practice the Dharma, forget about it. We need to transform each and every situation in the practice of Dharma. And this is what the practice of Lojong, the instructions of Lojong, are teaching us to do. And this is one of the most fortunate things we have. Okay? Next part, which is also very important. And on which we are not going to enter into details. Because this first training, the preliminaries, we could stay here months talking about the preliminaries. And is that once we understand that this life is precious, and we understand that the certainty of death, and that the life will end, and so on, we get to the next point, which is, okay, what happened when I die? Okay. Making a long story short, when we die, as everything in our life, whenever there are cycles in our life, when a cycle ends, according to the way how that cycle was concluded, we enter in a period between two cycles, an intermediate period. And that during that intermediate state, we have many opportunities open. And then we choose one new opportunity and a new cycle starts again. It's like, let's say one point in our life we stop with our job. Then we have no job. Then we have a lack of opportunity, not like many opportunities appear to us, no? So we have like all these opportunities that appear to us, and we have hundreds and thousands. Like what I can do? Okay, now I can open a little market, I can try to go to bake bread, I can continue to work as a doctor, I can try to just, I don't know. You know, there is a guy which I saw that he invented a new job. He writes dreams for people. You can invent all sorts of things, no? Okay, he goes early in the morning and then he writes a dream for you. And he lives in your door. At the moment you wake up, you give the timing and he puts on your door. So in the morning, first thing you take that and you read as if it was your own dream. I don't know. People invent all sorts of things. This is just to say that, okay, in the moment that I have no job, I can think about anything. All opportunities of job in front of me. But when I take a new job, then I need to finish that job before opening again to other opportunities. It's like in many things, like in relationships, like in anything. When there is something, until it's not completed, we cannot open a new one. And when it's completed before opening a new one, there are many possibilities there. But then when we take a new one, we need to wait that cycle to end until we open again to others. In other words, when we die, we go to the bardo, to the intermediate state, where there are opportunities of many types of rebirth. Once we take a rebirth, we need to wait to die again in order to find other possibilities again. So what happened here is the fact that we do have many, many, many opportunities, but in the way how we die, it's one of the main factors that will determine the type of bardo, and by that, the type of rebirth that we will have. So to die with anger or with jealousy or with hatred and so on, this is one of the worst things that we could do for ourselves. Okay. And there are many ways how we could be reborn, and they are not all beautiful. According to Buddha's teachings, there are the 6 realms of existence in which we can be reborn. There are the 3 higher and the 3 lower realms. The 3 higher realms, we could be reborn as a human being, that we know very well. Okay, the main suffering of a human being is the suffering of needing to separate from the object of attachment, not gaining the object of desire, and needing to enter in contact with the object of aversion. That's the main 3 sufferings that we have, mostly. Then there's the suffering of birth, of aging, of sickness, of death. Or we could be reborn as a semigod or as a god. The demigod or the semigods, they have a wonderful life, but actually they cannot enjoy it. They are constantly angry and envy because they don't have as much as the gods. It could be wonderful, their life, but they are not able to enjoy it because they're always based on envy. They're always fighting. Then there is the gods, which have a wonderful life. Everything is perfect. There is no suffering. But they do not take care of developing anything because their life is just good. So when they die, normally they have used all the merits they have accumulated, and what happened? Normally they have a very low rebirth afterward. So it's a sort of vacation from the suffering in samsara, But after that vacation, then you need to go to pay the bills of the credit card, and then it gets very high bills, and then it means a very low rebirth after that. Then we have the lower rebirths, which is we can be reborn as an animal, and very many of us, we have a very naive view of animals. Oh, how nice and beautiful and cute they are. It's like, when we listen to birds singing, we think, oh, so nice that birds are singing. But actually, I heard that normally when the birds are singing, they are actually fighting for jurisdiction by their own spaces. So it's not actually a sign of that they are enjoying anything and they are singing out of happiness. Okay? So, just to say, animals normally, making short, from all the sufferings, they have mainly the suffering of fear. Animals are constantly fearing their own survival. Okay? Even this doesn't mean that animals don't have love and they don't have compassion and they don't have generosity. They do have. Animals have all qualities such as love, compassion, generosity. Animals also have anger, jealousy, pride, miserliness, just as us. Okay? But being an animal means not having the intellectual capacity to project ourselves in the future, and being constantly mostly in fear and the need of survival. Then there is the hungry ghosts, which is a life where there is not necessarily a physical body. There can be also with a physical body, where there is no way to nourish oneself, and there is a lot of suffering related to one's own nourishment and food and constant physical pain. Then there is the hell realm, which there are many different types of hell realms. And some people ask, but does the hell really exist? I believe yes. Just making one example, Shantideva says that the hell is a state of, it's created but through the state of mind. So one of the hell that is described in the teachings of Lamrim is the recurrent hell, the hell that one very difficult situation repeats again and again. So there was one lady, a young girl. She was in her high school, and she's a friend of the sister of a friend. And basically, what happened is that she was in high school, and they were doing chemistry lessons, something. There was an accident, fire came, and she got her body burned. Could happen, very bad, but anyhow, she ended up in the hospital, and she was in coma for 10 days. Her whole body burned, and she was in coma for 10 days. So physically she was there, and when she woke up after the 10 days, she had so much fear, and she was like in a total state of trauma and shock. And it took time before she was able to speak again and to tell what happened. And once she was able to talk, she told that during these 10 days, she lived in a constant, endless nightmare in which she was being raped and then being burned. And then again she would be raped and then she would be burned. And then again she would be raped and again she would be burned. Endless times. So for her, physically where she was? In the hospital. But did she experience this suffering or not? Yes. And how long did it last for her? Long or short? Extremely long. So, this is an example of hell. Hell is not necessarily a physical place where we need to go. With our mind, we can create hell. And time is relative. In a short period for one person that is in a physical body, it can seem as something very long for the one that is experienced. It's like dreaming, no? It is said that when we dream, normally most of our dreams don't last more than seconds. It's actually something very interesting, this, no? Because for us, when we dream, it looks very long. So many things happen. But for the one that is dreaming, if we look and we analyze the one that is dreaming, dreams normally don't last more than a few seconds. So we can see the relativity of time. So hell is like being reborn within a nightmare that never ends, or that lasts for a very long time. So the conclusion is, I don't want to be reborn in hell. I don't want to be reborn in any of the lower realms. I want to have good conditions. So better I do the right thing. Better I take care of my mind, so I assure myself that I'm not going to die with anger and with any negative emotion. And the only way to do that is to familiarize myself right now with positive emotions. And then here comes the law of karma. I need to avoid negative actions. I need to accomplish positive actions because I don't want to leave the results of negative actions as manifesting in a negative rebirth. Because in the law of karma, what it says is that what we experience in the present is the result of what we have done in the past. And what we are doing in the present is the condition through which the causes of the past manifest, and is at the same time the new causes that we are creating for the future. But once the karma manifests, then we just need to experience the result. So it's better not to do negative actions. So if I don't want to have a negative rebirth, better not create the causes for such negative rebirth, and better not to be familiarized with negative conditions. Otherwise, it's very easy to fall into states of suffering. So because of that, we have no time to waste. We must have coherence in our life. Because if we live a life that is based on love, compassion, respect, gratitude, humility, if we act in a positive way through accumulation of merits, purifying our negativities, if we avoid as much as we can acting with anger, with jealousy, with pride, with miserliness, and so on, and we live coherently, then there is nothing for us to worry about our death and about our rebirth. If we live constantly in anger, in jealousy, in envy, and so on, oh yes, then there is a lot for us to worry, I'm sorry to say. So, taking refuge comes the next step. I take refuge in the Dharma because I don't want to have lower rebirths. And more than that, truly speaking, it's not enough even to have a good rebirth, Yes, let's say I have a wonderful rebirth in a beautiful family with all the good conditions as I have now. And then what? Again, insatisfaction, again, not gaining the object of desire, again, fears, expectations, and all the rest. So the conclusion is, please, Guru Buddha, help me. I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I don't want anymore to be in this state of samsara. When we develop this strong will to get out of the cycle of suffering, when we fall in love with enlightenment and liberation from samsara, when that's our main priority, to eliminate our own defilements, to develop our qualities to their maximum potential, when this becomes our truly real priority, that's when we complete the preliminaries. But Geshe Chekawa didn't say here, first complete the preliminary. He said, first train in the preliminaries. Okay? So, we first need to start training in the preliminaries, and we need to continue training in the preliminaries until we realize it, so then we can truly develop bodhicitta. But this is a very important step, and it's not so impossible, you know. It takes effort, it takes time, it takes dedication, it takes constancy, but it's possible. The only reason why we don't have is because we get lost in our daily stupid things. That's why there is a step. First, preciousness of this life, then the certainty of death, then the law of karma, taking refuge, developing renunciation. That's the process. And the more we think about it, the more we direct ourselves, the more spontaneously it will come. Okay? And we have this great fortune that we can do it. We can do practice the Dharma. We have all the necessary conditions truly to make this life meaningful, you know. It is there. And this doesn't mean abandoning this life. This doesn't mean giving up our family. This doesn't mean stopping to work. This doesn't mean not taking care of one's own body. This doesn't mean not taking care of one's own wealth. It means using the body, using the relationships, using our image and our wealth and everything as a mean to develop love, compassion, wisdom, generosity, patience, stability, peace, to grow. And this is where the teachings of Lojong come. And we are going to see during these next days how to transform each and every circumstance of our life into the path to enlightenment. And this is the most precious things that we could ever have. Okay? That's why I said yesterday, this is a small booklet that we have here, no? Which we called it Method and Wisdom to Realize Inner Peace. Personally, you know, from almost everything that I have, if I would need to exchange for something, this would be one of the most precious things I have. Okay, there are the commentaries which goes into more details of teachings and so on. But the Dharma, the teachings, you know, it's no price. We can stay for years in total, we are very rich with a lot of wealth and a lot of fame and a lot of pleasures. But if we don't have the correct direction to follow in our lives, finally there we are with insatisfaction, cultivating a mind of hatred and so on. So what's the point? Because the main source of suffering is our own mind. So we need to deal with it. We need to generate what makes us truly happy. So first, training the preliminaries. This is something that we need to remember and we need to cultivate. Then there are also the preliminary practices. When we talk about meditation, making prostrations, offerings, and all of that, that are there to help us to realize the preliminaries, which are also important. Okay? Remember, the preliminaries are fundamental. They are not secondary. It's like building a house with a good foundation. If there is no good foundation, then you can put beautiful windows. But what's the point of choosing beautiful windows when the foundation is not stable? Once we have good foundations, then yes, we can choose beautiful windows, we can have a nice color of the tiles, we can do anything we like. We can even make a high building, but the foundation must be good. And the foundation is based on what? On this strong, deep wish to get out of suffering, based on love towards ourselves. And this is what we have just been talking about. Okay? Of making clear what is truly important, what is not important, what is the priority for myself. So with this, we conclude for today, concluding the first of the 7 points, which is training in the preliminaries. As I said before, we could stay a whole month talking about this, or even longer. Because if we would go into details about the preciousness of this life, and we go into details about death and the process of death, and then the law of karma, and then taking refuge and all of this, you know, we could stay months talking about all of this. Like the commentary by Panchen Lobsang Chokyi Gyaltsen, the Lojong Losang which is, it's a tick like this, the commentary of the 7 points, my training. It's a very, very beautiful text, but it's like very, very detailed and so on. So everything is inside. But for us now, we are going to put more emphasis these next days in the next part, which is the how to train on bodhicitta, relative and absolute bodhicitta, and so on. So today we conclude this first of the 7 points, which is how to train in the preliminaries. Okay? Jitsun lame kutse rapten chi namkar tinle chochur gepadang losan tempe drume sasumgi drowe munsel tatu ne gyurchi nimo dele tsendele nime kuyan dele kshin Nyinsen takto delekpe koncho sumke jingelo koncho sumke ngodrup tsol koncho sumge trashishum. At dawn or dusk, at night or midday, may the three jewels grant us their blessings. May they help us to achieve all realizations and sprinkle the path of our lives with various signs of auspicious. Oma huntum bala me sangye rinpoche, kyo bala me tamcho rinpoche, drimbala me gendurim, kyamne kuncho sumla chepa. So just to remember, this afternoon at 3:30 there is the tzok. During the tzok time, Sherab Rinpoche will be doing the preparation, because after that he's going to be giving the empowerment of Tara Chitamani, Green Tara. I will be doing the translation. And then after the initiation, he will be doing the tzog with the practice of chud. Okay, so this is what we have later today.